Unpopular opinion, Nintendo Switch Edition. Obviously, Gabe and I love the platform. Heck, we make videos on it every day of our lives. We're thinking about Switch virtually non-stop, even dreaming about the console. But we saw this really interesting thread on Twitter and we wanted to jump into the fray. So we're here to give you our unpopular opinions about Nintendo Switch and its games. And Gabe, I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna throw you to the wolves.
Luckily for me, I was raised by wolves, so that means absolutely nothing.
That is true.
Yeah.
By the way, just to let everyone out there know, that is true. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button because it is true. It helps us out a lot.
All right. Okay, I just want to preface and say these are our opinions. You can have your own opinions. It's okay, guys. We can disagree.
Yeah, I mean, it's called unpopular opinion.
Yeah. All right.
So let us know your unpopular opinions in the comments down below. Play along. Get it out there. Confess. S.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay. I've made no secret about this, so people kind of already know. But I think Splatoon 2 is one of the top 2 games on Nintendo Switch. There's only one Switch exclusive I like more than it, I think. And yeah, I don't think that's very popular at all because people say Smash is the best game, maybe even Mario Odyssey, stuff like that. I'm going Splatoon. Celeste and Splatoon are my favorite games on Switch. Zelda is third for me, just in case anyone was curious.
That is definitely a dangerous duo to peg at the top, but I like that you started with a positive one. It's about your love for something, that it's so grand that it's okay. My love is for the fact that almost everything on my Switch is now digital, and I'd be okay if the Nintendo Switch was entirely digital. I don't know that I need another cartridge, and I know that people love the boxes and displaying them, and there are times where I waver and I go back and forth. I'm like, man, I love seeing my collection. I unbox a box of all my old Xbox 360 games or my Wii games, and I'm like, I miss the fact. Are you laughing at my game collection?
You said I unbox a box of boxes?
Hey, I got boxes and boxes. My life is like a Russian stacking doll. But no, as cool as they are for display pieces and collector items, I like having everything on the Switch, and I'd be okay getting every game that way. I know there's the debate of digital rights and whatnot. I haven't ever run into any issues personally, so that's my first unpopular opinion. I'm cool with an all-digital Switch.
I want to stop and talk about this one for a quick second. I 100% agree with you. If the Switch was all digital, I would be fine. Again, I know that's unpopular. People really love their physical stuff. I mean, we just saw a really sick Hollow Knight, physical edition coming with all types of goodies. That stuff is really cool. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have it. But as I get older and, priority shift, I just even have less space to put these things. They're just going to end up in a closet somewhere. So yeah, I'm with you on that one for sure.
As I get older, my concern is losing the cartridges. I feel like I'm constantly nervous when I travel with my Switch case of gotta make sure everything is really snug so that one of these doesn't just pop off and I'm down a Mario Tennis Aces or I'm down Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
What if they get stolen like my Mario Odyssey? I no longer own Mario Odyssey because that got stolen at E3 along with my Switch.
You have so much trauma over that.
Yeah, I have to mention it as often as I can. Bring awareness to Switch thieves. All right, let's move on. Another unpopular opinion of mine. I know a lot of people say the JoyCon aren't really that good. They're maybe too small. People don't like the D-pad. I think the JoyCon are actually quite awesome, and I think they are the perfect size. I've been playing single JoyCon a lot for various reasons. Multiplayer, not by myself. I'm not just playing single JoyCon on my own. I would never do that. But playing with the more and more single JoyCon lately, I think these little controllers are so perfect. I love the customization. I love the colorful nature of it. I know you love that as well.
Yeah, I love the collecting aspect of those, so maybe that's why I'm okay with all digital, because instead of having physical display of games, just have a physical display of, 29 Joy-Con or so.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna save my most unpopular opinion for a little later. Here's a fun one. I like the Switch original exclusive indies more than the ported hits, I think. So if I'm looking back and thinking of my time and my first experiences with games like Graceful Explosion Machine, Ape Out, Mr. Shifty, even Half Minute Heroes, the games that first come to Switch.
Why aren't you? Wait, whoa! You didn't say Celeste? What's wrong with you?
Okay, Celeste.
What's wrong with you?
I feel like that's beloved by everyone. So that, I don't know. I'm talking more about the ones that made me feel all fuzzy inside and maybe other people passed over. But some of those original experiences that, yeah, sure, they were on PC or other places, but first came to Switch, I don't know, that's just magical and special, and I feel like it helps give the Switch more of its identity. And obviously, I think a lot of people would feel that the identity comes from having so many great games and being able to take them on the go, and I'm not trying to discount Hollow Knight or Fortnite or any of the Shovel Knights, all the Knight series, in any capacity. But there's something just special when it's like, Ape Out is so good, and like it's right now the only console it's on is on Switch, or like I have a love affair with Graceful Explosion Machine. I can't wait for their next game. Even SteamWorld Dig 2, like first coming to the platform, like it's just phenomenal.
There are certain games that aren't even really exclusive to Switch that I still like identify as some exclusivity in my head. Like for me, like Wargroove is like a Switch game, even though I know it's on other platforms. It even has like crossplay and stuff like that. But yeah, like for me, stuff like that is just so inherently Switch based. I don't know why, but yeah, I totally know what you mean by this one.
Gotcha.
All right,
next up, Gabe.
Okay, so with this, I'm going to go to another opinion that's kind of unpopular. One of the main complaints about the Switch is the graphics, how games run. And for me, I'm sorry guys, I think it runs just fine. If I can play the game at 30 FPS, Doom, Wolfenstein, those things, they don't look the best. I get it. You can play them where they're going to look better and run better on other platforms. And maybe that's why I'm okay with the Switch being the way it is, because I have those other platforms. But for what the Switch is and what it does and for what it costs and the concessions it makes for being portable, I think that the games run and look just fine. I don't need a 4K Switch. If it doesn't happen, I'm perfectly fine with it. Now, I mean, of course I would love it if we get a pro version of the Switch. I'm all for it. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not losing any sleep over it.
I'm going to go with a weird one. This might, I don't know if this is unpopular or just straight up strange. I usually play with the sound off. I don't usually use headphones.
This is one of Zach's silliest things.
When I'm playing handheld, I'm almost always playing with no sound. Like, I have been playing Baba Is You, and I know you have as well, Gabe, and been like busting through those puzzles. And after like a couple hours, I was like, wait, I wonder what this game sounds like. Is there even music? Because I've been playing the entire time with no sound. And like, I don't know, like I feel like most console games, I would never do that. Like that's a no-no if I'm playing on PS4. But I guess just because it's portable, I feel less obliged to hear what's going on, and maybe because a lot of those experiences that I am playing that way are less story-based. But yeah, I often, audio is not something that I always have with the Switch.
That's one of Zach's like weirdest things, guys. I promise his audio setup is insanely silly. He has everything he needs to be able to listen. He just won't do it for whatever reason. And I also want to shoot Zach a little bit of bail here. He does like play like story-based games on Switch like with sound. It's just like I also play Baba Is You with no sound. I just put a podcast on or something. Even things like Rico.
The Office.
Yeah, even things like Rico, I don't mind playing without sound. So I'm kind of like you a little bit here. It's just because I love listening to podcasts so much. So yeah, this thing is very unpopular. I know a lot of people would not dream of playing games without sound, but yeah, this is a very weird one for you, Zach. All right, there's kind of been a recurring theme here for me. Like a lot of the things that people hate about the Switch is just like fine to me. Another one of the things is the Nintendo Switch Online and how people like really don't like it. They want more out of it. And I think for $20 a year, we are getting exactly what we deserve, which is the ability to play online with each other. And if you care about NES games, they are there. We don't necessarily get the deals that we were like promised. We were told already to get like special deals for being members and stuff like that. We haven't seen that come to fruition. Yeah, we have cloud saves. That's a really cool incentive to get it as well. I think the Nintendo Switch Online 100% serves its purpose, and I think anybody that complains about the value, in my head, is like a little bit bonkers.
This is the one I have the most confusion with. I guess like it always goes back to that price point, because at any other price point it's a problem, but
at what it's at now, it isn't.
At the price point, you're right. I still wish that they would do a little more and hold a little bit sturdier to some of the initial, I don't want to say promises, but the promise of the potential Switch Online. But yeah, it doesn't stand in our way, except in some of those very laggy Smash Bros. Matches. Alright, we've reached the point where I have to say the one I don't want to say, which is my last unpopular opinion, Nintendo Switch Edition for the day, is that in hindsight, I don't know that I love Zelda Breath of the Wild. When I first booted up the cartridge, it was incredible. It was jaw-dropping, it was show-stopping, it was inspiring and exciting on a level that I hadn't felt in years. But I think so much of that was just my first experience with the Switch, and the game is obviously of the utmost quality, but for me personally, I don't go back to it. I'm not really pumped for Breath of the Wild 2. I don't know. I'm like more interested to play the Link's Awakening remaster than I am like a true Breath of the Wild 2 at this point, just because it's still good, but I just don't love it.
Yeah, that's weird to me. Breath of the Wild, top 3 Switch game, in my opinion. It's right up there. And on any given day, like, it could be, like, my second favorite Switch game ever. Just, like, Celeste is the one that won't budge. Splatoon and Breath of the Wild are pretty interchangeable, depending on how I feel that day. It's my favorite franchise of all time. So, yeah, you're alone on this one. I think Breath of the Wild is fantastic. I think what they did with the formula and how they changed it up. And, you know, we're getting shrines instead of, you know, these, like, big dungeons, even though each big boss battle had a dungeon, but it's a moving dungeon. Like, there was a lot of really cool stuff in the game. So yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, I know it's not for you. Did you try playing with the sound on?
Yes. Let the record show that this is coming from a man who just told me that Splatoon 2 was above Breath of the Wild.
It is today.
All right, those are our unpopular opinions about the Nintendo Switch. What are your unpopular opinions about Nintendo Switch and its games? Let it out, let it flow. We want to hear all of them in the comments down below. Don't be shy, don't be ashamed. Whatever it is, it's just your opinion, so it's totally valid. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Make sure that like button if you enjoyed the video. Also, let us know if you were raised by wolves, like our very own Gabe. Until next time, though, thanks so much, everybody. Have a fantastic day. SwitchForce out.